Hi, I'm Maisa Jacobs. This is Medium Smart. Welcome back to Medium Smart. I'm your host, Maisa J. It's been a minute. Last episode was July 29th, 2025. It is March 1st, 2026. I had no intentions on letting things go silent for so long. A situation happened over the summer that put a halt to everything that I had been working on. And I've had to dedicate all of my energies and resources to getting back on track. And so it is about to be spring. We're about to set our clocks forward or back. I don't know. I forget. And it's Mercury retrograde. I am not in the best of headspaces right now. I am not sleeping. I'm not eating properly. My dog has stopped eating. That could be a number of reasons, though. I don't think there's anything wrong with her. We're just in a situation that has gone on far too long. And so with that, me, my spirit guides and angels, and I'm sure my dog would like for me to lay these burdens down. My mind, body, and spirit would love for me to lay these burdens down so that I can move the fuck forward in my life. This is a not suitable for work episode. I am no longer a suitable for work type of human being. There's going to be a lot of curse words, a lot of perhaps big emotions at various points. Let's get into it. July 2nd of 2024, I went to Marlon Maynor's father's funeral. Oh yes, babe, we're naming names. You better fucking believe it. We're naming names. Everybody involved in this should not feel comfortable moving forward in the same way after I'm done. July 2nd, went to a funeral in Los Angeles. Marlon's father had passed away. We were at the repast, and he made mention that his cousin was interested. I got to look at him out my peripheral. I side-eyed him. And while he did look old, rickety, and thin, I liked his white shirt. He was wearing shoes. He was decent enough. Bald, gray. I said he could speak to me. Previous to this, I had celebrated my 49th birthday. When I turned 49, I personally hit reset. I spent that year giving thanks for all of the life that I had lived up until that point. Celebrated my present, 49, looking good, feeling better, or feeling good, looking better, And I had set my sights on what the next 30 years would look like for myself. And one of those things is I want to domesticate myself. I've mentioned, and you probably can gather from past episodes, I do okay by myself. I'm single a lot, and I'm okay with it. When I generally live by myself. And, my home is my sanctuary. And when I step through across that threshold and close the door, I'm not a sad sack of a human being because I'm home alone. I'm not. I don't know what that feeling is. I change out of my outdoor clothes. I put on my indoor clothes. I make myself a yummy meal and I add a yummy beverage to it. I'm okay by myself. I enjoy my rent. I enjoy my peace. If you know me, I talk to people. I'm social-ish. I'm an antisocial socialite, but I go. I'm a person who goes, and I just wanted to calm myself down a little. I wanted to move my life in a different direction. And so, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I hope you can still hear me. We'll explain it. But I've been meaning to do this for a minute, and I'm not gonna stop. So, you're gonna hear some noises, and the audio may not be the best. It is what it is. It is what it is. I need to get this on wax. I need to get this out so that I can move forward with my life. 49, reset, wanted to make different decisions. With dating, I felt like I was putting unreasonable restrictions on myself at various points in my life. A few years back, a man had asked me out, and I told him I wasn't interested in him, point blank, period. And he told me, well, Maisa, you got to get to know somebody. You can't just make a blanket decision. You can't meet somebody and just make a blanket decision to not like them. 2 months later, he got the boot. I didn't like him. I didn't like him. Generally, within 2 weeks to a month, I know if I want to spend any time with you. I know if I want to get to know you. I like men with presence. Something's up with them that I can see. Maybe nobody else can see, but they move me. And those men are generally few and far between. I will say that. 49, trying to move in a new way. I didn't want to have a type anymore, right? I wanted to know how people get into relationships. How do you people do it? And then there are those people that are like in 10-year relationships or marriages, get out, and then they jump into another one. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on with you that, I'm not meeting enough people to excite me in this way. But, I wanted to do things differently. And so with that, I let some security measures go. This person was interested. And so, he can talk to me. We went back to Marlon's home, and I was in the kitchen with the youngsters. The elders were in the front, smoking marijuana and playing dominoes, girl, or spades, something. I was in the kitchen with the with the younger crowd, and we're all in our 50s. Understand, we're all in our 50s, but we weren't with the elders in the front. This man got up out of his seat, and he came to talk to me, and I was like, that's commendable. I have a certain way about myself. I look a certain way, and I don't get hit on as often as you. Well, I do, but they're crazy. When I'm about to share with you how crazy these fools are. So the fact that I'm the type where a person will just stand there and stare at me, and I guess you're waiting for me to make the move or what? I don't know. I generally don't move. You're going to stand there. I have fans. You want to be a fan? Go ahead and be a fan. I don't care. And I do mean stare at me. Recently, I was at work and my coworker said that someone was watching me at work. And she couldn't understand why he didn't come speak to me. I don't know who that was. I tried to get her to tell me who it was, especially since now I'm going through a situation. The fact that somebody is going to be staring me down for 10, 15 fucking minutes at my job is weird. And she couldn't really give me a description of this person. So to this day, I still don't know who that was, but I know the vibes because I've been getting it my whole entire life. It's odd. So this man got up out of his seat. I'm smoking marijuana, so you know the vibes. And he proceeded to chat me up. And I liked it. I thought it was it added something to him. That's Jessica. We're in the same room. You're going to hear her. It is what it is. Ignore. So we chatted, and he mentioned that he, wanted to go out. And so I suggested, and he was leaving the next morning. So I suggested, he did not live in Los Angeles. He lived in Atlanta. And he was leaving the next morning. He wanted to go out. I suggested something. And we went, and he came and got dropped off. I called a car, and we hung out in downtown LA. I think the Dodgers were playing. So we went to the Marriott at LA Live, had a drink, and then we went to a sports bar and had another drink and kicked it and had good conversation. In that conversation, he mentioned, it was an easy time. I felt comfortable. And for me to go to a second location with someone, I felt comfortable with him. I'm going to be very honest, right? I felt comfortable. I don't kick it with people that I don't like. If I get bad vibes, I'm out. I'm out. I excuse myself. I'm out. I don't have a problem with it. So he leaves and the conversation continues. At that time, I was horny to change my life. I don't know what she's doing over there. She's gonna settle. Ignore. It's Jessica. She's like a kid. When you get on the phone or something, your kid wants to get all up on you. Jessica is the exact same way. Whenever I start showing attention and I get on the phone, here she comes wanting to play ball. So I think she's settling. I think she's gonna hopefully take a little nap so I can continue. I'm not going to stop. I need to get this out. The conversation continued, and we had a lot in common. My father and my brother are named Donald. His father and his brother are named Donald, or form of it. Donnie, little Donnie. I forget. I don't give a fuck. But little weird coincidences like this were coming up in conversation where I felt comfortable continuing to speak to this person. This was also my friend Marlon Maynor's cousin. So I thought that you giving the okay to date this person meant that he was on the up and up. I'm trying, I am, I generally don't date strangers. I prefer to date men that are in my social circle or that I work around. We don't work in the same department, but we might work under the same company or something to that effect. I like seeing you in the wild and seeing how you act because you're a representative of me when I'm not around. And I don't want to be around. I don't want a dickhead for a man. I don't. I like nice men. I grew up a tomboy. I am a good time girl, woman to this day. There are certain ways about me that fit better with hanging out with boys or men. boys when I was a kid. I played sports and I would train with the boys. I was really good at sports and track and cross country in high school. I was a really good athlete. And so with that, I trained with the boys. I was able to keep up and I just liked hanging out with the boys. I have very good female friends, but I've always hung out and because I know how to kick it. I curse, I drink, I smoke. Men know how to kick it. I know how to kick it. I'm not out here fucking and sucking and with the drama. When I was clubbing, I was going to club and have fun and dance. I wasn't there to meet anybody. I'm not into casual sex. I never have been. I am big on having fun. Jessica moved and took me out of my concentration. So I don't know what I was talking about, but dating and relating. This man had qualities or attributes that I felt comfortable being around. My father worked for the utility company in Los Angeles for many, many years. Derek Dorsey is his name. Derek Dorsey, atlgasman@yahoo.com. Derek Dorsey of Norcross, Chicago, Atlanta. Derek Dorsey, who works for the gas company of Atlanta. So I felt comfortable. Also, I think I mentioned in a previous episode, I no longer wanted to date creatives. I wanted to open my world up to men who were 9-to-5ers or just had different experiences that weren't like mine. I wanted to change my life. I wanted to release the restrictions that I had placed on myself in an effort to move my life in a new way, in a different direction. Still fun though, right? So through conversations, this person, I was looking to move. I was looking to leave Los Angeles. Atlanta was on the list. I'm a woman of a particular age. There's a certain way that I want to live my life, and I was unable to live that life in Los Angeles. Including being able to make money, save my money, invest my money in a new way. I wanted to slow my life down a little bit. And I've never really spent that much. I've not spent any time in this part of the U.S. I had never come to Atlanta or Georgia, even though I listen to the music. When I think about all the ways that Georgia has influenced my life, I don't know what had kept me from coming here all these years, but it was on the list of places for me to potentially move and thrive to. There's a strong media presence here, history, culture for Black people, and I just wanted to soak it in. I've never been to North or South Carolina. I've never been to Tennessee or Nashville or none of these places. My great grandmother and I have family in Mississippi and Alabama, but I hadn't been to these places since I was a kid. So this person was talking it up. Yeah, you need to come visit. Started flying. So I was horny to change my life. This person, and I had a little bit of stress on me. And this person seemed to give a shit. He shared that he was divorced, with the daughter who was in college. I do not date men with kids. And at this particular time, if they do have kids, yeah, I want you on your way out the house or out of the house, in school, or with your own family. I'm really looking forward to getting in on that grandkids situation. I don't have children, but rich auntie, grandma, you know, I'll help out with the grandkids, but you got to come get them. Come get them. Don't leave them here. You and your kids, y'all got to go. I'm in the house with your daddy and your granddaddy. Y'all got to go. So I was laxed on that. He was still living in the house with the ex-wife. Red flag number one. I've lived in the Bay Area and New York. And also I just pay attention to people's relationships. It is not uncommon for exes to still be living in the same, not even house, but apartment. Because rent is high. Rent is high. And so even though these people have broken up, neither one is in the position to move. And so, yeah, you might be dating someone who is still living, not me. You need to, have your own space or be living with not with your ex. It's odd, but this is what going back to homie, you got to get to know these people. How do you know unless you get to know them? I'm steering my life in a new direction. Give this man a chance. He came recommended by Marlon Maynor of South Central Los Angeles, manager of Vallarta Market on Crenshaw and Slauson, motherfucker. Yeah. We're naming names. This man came, recommended. So I'm trusting that you are truly divorced. He was living in a 5-bedroom house. He was in a room by himself all the time. He was just, laid up in a bed. And I kind of felt sorry for him. He seemed nice and decent. The story that he told was plausible. I could hear people in the background. This woman and she had like a family living there. I still don't know to this day. It was a 5-bedroom house in Norcross. But with that, while I didn't totally question that situation, I did say, hey, it's 2024. Why don't you read? I suggested books or I was asking questions, to see why he was divorced, what happened, figuring out, is this person healed? And trying to offer up ideas for how you can get healed and be a better person for your next relationship, even if that wasn't me. So I was making suggestions to read self-help books on divorce and in the modern age. This man is 58 years old. He was married for many, many years. Let's hit reset. You're out here dating. Let's hit reset. Let's learn some new coping mechanisms. Read a book, read a blog post, read an Instagram post. Do something to help yourself move forward out of this. None of it was ever done. None of it was ever done. I read between the lines when I talk to people, especially when dating men. I read between the lines. When a man is complaining about all the women that he's dated or dealt with in the past or calling them trash, you really have to perk up and wonder why he is making that statement. All these women can't be trash. I don't believe that ever. When anybody says this, it's not true. You are the common denominator. So what's going on here? And do you hear yourself? Past episodes of this podcast, I've shared, my dating, Los Angeles is big. And while not every man in my past has been trash, just the situation just wasn't right to move forward in a relationship. But I'm not going to say that every single man in my past was trash. They weren't. So this man, this is his conversation. And so I was paying attention to that. He also would make comments about how he, as we progressed, this man put $1,000 in my pockets, direct deposit it into my bank account just so I could have some money in my pockets and have a spa day, treat myself. I didn't have a problem with this because I believe a man is supposed to be an asset to me and not a liability. You want to be the man of the house. You want to have you want to have a certain lifestyle with me. You need to be able to provide a certain lifestyle for me. I'm 51 years old. There's a certain type of life that I want to live. And yeah, while I do, it's 2026. We need double income. Everybody is struggling. 2-family incomes, 100%. But there are certain things I'm not a 50-50 girl. I'm not. I am absolutely not. My presence is the present. Steve Harvey said that one morning on the Steve Harvey Morning Show, and I've never forgotten it. My dad said the woman decides. I've never forgotten it. I'm your helpmate. And when you can't make it happen, then yeah, I'll step in, but no. I'll go more into that, but he put $1,000 in my pockets. I did ask if he was a trick, if this is what he does. He said no. He just wanted to be of service and make me smile. So that's how we began our relationship. Long distance. I mentioned in a previous episode that he gave me life. I gave him life in a different way. This is what I was talking about, right? I was making new choices, new decisions that seemed to be working out for me. Marlon was calling me cousin-in-law. This man was having conversations he was really into me. I liked my lifestyle more than I liked him. He was fitting into a role that I had for my man, and I liked it. That was July, August, September. My birthday is September 27th. He had property and he had qualities that I also liked, right? 9 to 5. He has property all over. I want to be a property owner, income property. He had a piece of property in Vegas, Summerlin, Nevada. I'll fly you there for your birthday. How about that? For your 50th birthday. Let's do it. Why wouldn't I? Let's do it. So, I can't remember. There's something else. I feel like there might have been another. Let's see. That was September. I don't know. I forget. There might have been another trip before that to Atlanta in August. I feel like maybe I was in ATL for Labor Day, and then I was in Vegas another day, or two trips happened kind of close to each other. But for that one, we met in Vegas. I love that. Who's not going to love that? And, it was a cool time. I wasn't totally ready to have intimacy with him. I did it anyways. Just ripped the bandage off. And he had put in work. We were talking on a regular basis. He had helped me out with my resume. Not really. I ended up getting 2 jobs that were based off of efforts, my own efforts. I also later found out that he was going to the library to work on my resume. 2024, who thinks somebody's going to the library to use a computer to help you? I didn't find that out until later. But the fact that this man was like doing these things in an effort to help me move forward, I appreciated that. He deserved something. We were intimate. It was all right. He has a big knot in his penis. I don't know what that's about. Somebody tell me in the comment section, why would somebody have a big knot in their penis? I told you this shit was not suitable for work. I am fucking tired. I'm a lunatic of a human being. It's March 1st. It is time for me to lay my burdens down. Mercury is retrograding. It is time to go back in time and talk about it and let this go. I am ready to let this go. It is 2026. I am still reliving shit that happened in 2024, and I'm tired. He had a big knot in his penis. I didn't know what that was about, but the penis size was nice. If you know me, I have been a size queen in my past life. I'm not anymore. You need to be able to enjoy, I want to be able to enjoy intimacy, and working with the big penis it's cumbersome. It's fun. It's a whole lot of fun. Let me tell you something, ladies. If you are interested, a man that wears a size 13 shoe is pretty solid. You're going to get some meat. Size 13 shoe wearers, they're solid. It's a good time if you can handle it. I'm not that way anymore. I am normal. I've changed my standards, but I'm going to move on. So we had a nice time in Vegas. And we proceeded to have good times. He was flying me out to Georgia every few months. He wanted to see me. He was coming to Los Angeles, and it was a decent time. Things were moving nicely. I got to go to Clark Atlanta's homecoming. This man was a big fan of Clark Atlanta. I later found out that was a lie. This man and his friends go to Clark Atlanta's homecoming every single year for like a solid 20 years, all because he went to Clark Atlanta for like one semester. He never finished. He never graduated from Clark Atlanta University, but he is a poser who buys up all the merch, puts on all the wears all the colors, and he pays to be at the homecoming to hang out with his friends who are actually successful and who actually graduated from the school. They're linemen. He's not a lineman. But you would think the way that he acts and tells stories that he is would get pissed off at me when I didn't want to hear the stories about Clark Atlanta. Or if I wanted to know about Spelman or Morehouse, he would literally visibly get upset with me because... And then once I found out that he lied about being a graduate of Clark Atlanta, he really got pissed off at me because I knew the truth. I was finding out the truth about this person. I spent Thanksgiving in Atlanta with his family. I met his mother, 84 years old, Harriet Dorsey, of the Harriet and Pee Wee Dorseys of Chicago and Summerlin and Lawrenceville. She was a decent lady, so I thought. His cousins were very nice and welcoming. He had an adult daughter. Never met this chick. She didn't really fuck with him. And I started paying attention to that. Also, his brother didn't really seem to fuck with him either. His brother was always busy. I never met the brother. I never met the daughter. The daughter seemed kind of slow and dumb. And I didn't really want to meet her at some point. And I mean just DUM. He went to she's I won't say what school she's at. I won't even use her name. I'll leave her out of it. But he went to go pick her up from school, and she was leaving for the semester. He told her to put some baking soda in the refrigerator. This fool sprinkled baking soda in the refrigerator. I think we all know that you're supposed to just open the little package and you just put the little yellow box in the refrigerator, right? Why doesn't this girl know this? Oh, her mom, well, she has two parents. So while he was always making little comments about the ex-wife, I'm putting two and two together. She has two parents. You're kind of on the hook for this too. She's dumb because her parents are dumb. And something's up. Every time you call this girl to hang out, she been back from school on school break and you ain't seen her once. What's going on here? What's going on here? So there were cracks, but it's a relationship. I'm doing new things. This is, it's kind of going well. Is he the sexiest thing? No. Dressed as like a realtor or a deacon in a church. I want a little more rock star. So I started trying to introduce, flavor into this man's life. 58 years old from Georgia, Chicago. And you kind of look like it. I'm trying to sex this shit up. So, there were little things where I was like, but it was fine. It was fine. He's making comments about the ex-wife. In one of our phone conversations, she's just seeping into our conversations. I just didn't understand this. Like, so what are you doing with the house? So, you're in this house with this woman. What's going on here? Well, the plan was to sell the house, get everybody out of the house, and he's supposed to sell the house and move on with his life. He used to make comments like, I know she needs the money. Well, how do you know she needs the money? What's going on that this woman can't fend for herself or, so these are questions that I had in the back of my mind. I'm reading between the lines. I'm still trying to be an advocate for, hey, there are ways to deal with this. He's, but still being, it's not my problem. It's not my problem. And it seemed to have been going on for years, according to Marlon and family members. It had been going on for a while. So I don't know. I was just there to, let him know he would be okay to move forward. I don't know. But he would make comments like, I know she needs the money. So he was supposed to be selling the house, giving her some money, and they were supposed to finally part. Oh, he made it seem like he was in the house or they kept getting back together for the daughter. And now that the daughter was out of the house, away at school, they could begin the process of separating their lives. That was supposed to be the thing. Okay, all right, so you say. I kept it under my hat. He came to Los Angeles one time, and we went to visit his cousin, Yan and Erica Searcy of Northridge. It was a Sunday evening. Sundays, I was working 2 part-time jobs. Sundays are my day. I love a Sunday night wind down. I'm a fan of Seinfeld. I love Elaine. You know, she was a big proponent of her Sunday night wind downs. I'm a big fan of a Sunday night wind down. I want my day to kind of end by 6 p.m. so I can relax. I have 2 jobs I have to go to, a morning job and an afternoon job, and I want to ease into my Monday, ease into my week. So these people live deep into the valley. You know me. I didn't go into the valley unless I absolutely needed to. Let's plan this so that it works out for everyone. I am using my words. I have been accused in the past of friends, family, whatever, associates, telling me I didn't use my words and all this and that. So I'm using my words to express what I need to have happen so I don't lose my fucking shit on you. I'm exhausted. You've been here for a week or whatever. It's kind of, throwing off my schedule, and now you want me to get up and go to the valley. Let's make this work for me. Can you ask them when they'll be available? I thought that he had made plans. I thought that we were very clear as to what I was asking for. We get up to go to the valley. These people are at the mall. These people were not at home. That was the first real fuck up. That was the first time where I had to pull the car over. I pulled the fucking car over because I just could not believe what was going on. It's Sunday at like 3 p.m. I wanted to take a nap. He got me up to go and told me that we were supposed to be meeting. And when we get there, these people are at the mall. I reiterated my request. He gets his cousin Erica on the phone. He puts her on speaker. And, she had no clue. Oh, is she mad? I'm quiet. I'm fuming. That was his first time to see me really pissed off. And, we got these people to get them to head home. Right? And I proceeded to, just, make my thoughts known. I didn't hide my anger or my disappointment. And I was asking questions. I'm asking questions. This person is still new. We are talking about living a life together at this point, what that might look like. We're flying back and forth. We're in a relationship. This is my boyfriend at this point. Okay. We get to the house. So time is really important to me. My time is very precious to me. And I don't like it wasted. I don't like fake conversations. I'm organized. There's a way to live. I'm drama free. There's a way to live a peaceful life. And this person was disturbing my personal peace now. We proceeded to go to the house and we had a nice time. So we had a decent amount of time. These people proceeded to interview me and grill me, though. And these people should never feel comfortable to grill another woman over this man, because he's a liar. I don't know if these people are all in on it, but it's giving you're all in on this charade. This is a charade. I was interviewed, I was grilled, and then I was given the okay. But, it's 8:00 at night. I'm kicking him under the table. It's time to go. We've been here since 3. You were able to kick it with your family. There was another cousin, Natalie, there. All these people are they're your cousins, they're your family. But it's 8:00 at night and I'm ready to go. So I'm kicking him under the table and he's not budging. So we get back, we finally leave. There's more conversation in the car. There's more conversation that night. And I just had to really let him know where I'm coming from moving forward. And I thought he understood. I thought we had an understanding. We move forward from that. A few more months go by. He's here. He was in LA for Christmas. I only had like 2 weeks off. I was working for a school and I was also working at a radio station, and both took 2 weeks off for the Christmas holiday, which I was so grateful for. I needed it. He wanted to take one of those weeks to go to Colorado. His parents were together for a very long time. They were beloved by everybody. And they used to go to Colorado, Breckenridge, to go skiing and just kick it. So this man wanted to recreate the relationship that his parents had. And at some points I got it and I was down for it. And so we, even though it seemed very exhausting, we planned a trip to go to Colorado. And I got, once I started figuring out where everything was, Aspen is far. When you hear about these people going to Aspen and all these places, you have to fly into Denver, I think. You have to fly one place and then you have to rent a car and then drive another however many hours to get to the next town. And so in me figuring this out, that meant that a lot of places were just not, I'm not doing this. I'm exhausted. It's my vacation. It's my fucking vacation. And I wanted to enjoy it. So we ended up going to, I forget where, but it wasn't the best time. It truly wasn't the best time. I don't ever need to go back to Colorado. I'm not a Denver girl. It just wasn't the best time. I didn't really enjoy my time with him. I didn't enjoy the town. But whatever. Every day can't be sunshine. We got to go away. We got to spend time together. It was fine enough. One of the issues is when he travels, he wants to catch the first flight out. And I'm not that way. So every time while I was getting flown out, that was the fun of it, I was on the first flight out. So that means I have to put Jessica in boarding the day before. That's cash money. And then I have to wake up before day on my day off or whatever to catch a flight. It's annoying. It's exhausting. We had to get up at like 3 in the fucking morning to drive 2 to 3 hours to get to the airport to catch a 6 a.m. flight. That's not fun. This is what he was doing every single fucking time. He also wasn't paying for the flights outright. He was using miles. And there's nothing wrong with that. But with that, you have to sit on the phone, I guess, and you gotta piecemeal shit together. When we first were speaking, this man brought up his finances to me on his own. He showed me where he had a 401k. He was trying to show that he could take care of me. He showed me his 401k. He told me about his different properties, his different businesses. He liked little side hustles. I was into it. I like this. I'm into this, right? So again, I liked my lifestyle and the potential of my lifestyle more than I liked him. So we're having issues. Yeah, so we got through Christmas. Then, springish starts coming, and we're like, okay, so this seems to be going somewhere. I'm kind of ready to leave Los Angeles. I felt like I had did everything I needed to do there. My finances weren't getting any better. I had been offered a corporate job. Marlon had opened up a brand new grocery store, and before I left, I was working at the grocery store to get gas money and to prepare to leave. And I was doing such an amazing job. People like me. I'm a likable person. I show up, I have integrity, I do a good job, I mind my business, and then I go home. And if, with regards to work, if I make a friend, then that's wonderful. But I don't go with drama. I don't, So one of the big bosses pulled me aside and was like, "Hey, are you into this?" And I had to tell him, you know what? I appreciate you. Thank you. But I'm in a relationship and I'm planning on moving. I had made the decision to leave Los Angeles based off of what this man had told me. He could look after me for a time. We kind of figured out, once I moved that I would probably be without a job for a time and he would have to look after me. He claimed he took out a $20,000 loan against his 401k to help with that. I don't really know what that was all involved. It's not my problem. I didn't ask him to do it. He did it on his own, or he claimed. That's what he claimed. We'll get to that. So with that, I turned down a good job in Los Angeles and I prepared to move. I am reiterating to this man that I am a woman of a particular way. I have a lifestyle that I want to live. And he assured me that he could and wanted to live that same lifestyle. I am a person who gets a certain amount of attention. I let him, are you prepared for this? I got a cute little dog. She's pretty as hell. She's pretty. She's smart. She gets attention. Are you down with this? Also with Jessica, it's just been me and Jessica. At this point, it had been like 3 years. And so, Jessica's my baby. Jessica is my baby. I unexpectedly took her in when she was a puppy. And it's because I've been very connected with her. I knew I wanted a pet. I knew I wanted a dog at some point in life. When she entered my life, I didn't think I was ready, but I had the time and space to help look after her. And when the time came for her to find a home, she was already kind of living with me, so I just kept her. And that's how I got my dog. But Yeah, and so, I just jumped myself into the life of being a dog mom. And with that, my dog sleeps she sleeps next to me on a regular basis. I don't have a problem with it. When she was a puppy, they wake up just like babies, human babies. They wake up in the middle of the night. You got to take these fuckers out. And not a human baby. I'm not calling babies fuckers. I'm not even calling Jessica a fucker. Let me change my wording. You gotta pick the baby up, and you gotta. She has to go to the bathroom. And so with that, at some point, she was in her area and I was in my area, but 2 a.m, 3 a.m, I can't see you. I don't know where you're at. Just come get in the bed with me. And from that point on, she would just be in the bed with me. And she spends half the time in the bed with me. And then if there's space under the bed, I generally keep a nice, cozy space. Jessica has spaces all over. I've never cage trained her. I was getting caught in the cages more than her. So she's always had a run of the apartment. She's never jacked anything up. And so this is how we live. When I leave, she is free to roam. I have generally an automatic dog feeder that feeds her during the day. I leave the TV on for her or sometimes the radio, and she's completely fine. He saw how I was with my dog, and he tried to start changing that. He didn't want her in the bed with us, which I get. And not everybody's a dog person. I get that. Not everybody's an animal person. And so with that, I'm making new choices. At one point I told him he was breaking up John and Yoko. He was breaking up the Beatles. He was Yoko breaking up the Beatles is what I called him, But, later, I kind of figured out he was just putting up with my dog to get to me because he started placing really weird requests of my dog. We'll get to that. So with that, I've started making plans to move, and there were cracks, but it's fine. I've always had issues with people who moved for long distance relationships. I've never been a proponent of long distance relationships. And so a lot of things got lost I was in a long distance relationship and preparing to move. I've never lived with anybody. I felt comfortable with this person to try these things out. He came recommended by Marlon, right? So, Memorial Day weekend, I made the decision to leave Los Angeles. He met my father on one of his trips to Los Angeles. Him and my father met. I'm not talking to my mother right now. She's not speaking to me. We'll get into that another episode. But he did meet my father. And it was, we had a nice time at the Cheesecake Factory. A lot of similarities between them. I felt comfortable with this man, Derek Dorsey, ATL gas man at Yahoo, works for the gas company, 30 years. Derek Dorsey of the Chicago Dorseys, Norcross. I want his head on a stick. I want his fucking head on a stick. They met. I proceeded to move. He was very helpful in the move. He had an American Express card. He put my name on the account. He claimed in an effort to help me start getting... My credit score was in the mid to high sixes. So I was okay. I had there was a financial shortage, but, it's not like I wasn't going to be able to ever get up out of it. So he did put my name on his American Express card, and that was helpful in me moving to Atlanta. I will say that, right? But this is my man. This is what you're supposed to be doing. You got it. You claim you got it. He claimed he was a millionaire. You got it. And I see how much, you got it. You're putting money in my pockets on a regular basis. He was putting money in my pockets on a regular basis, flying me out. I thought he had it. I drive for 3 days and 2 nights. I chose to drive. I chose to yeah, that's how you say it. I chose to do the cross country trip because I had always wanted to do that. Growing up, I would hear about people driving into Canada. When I was, from Los Angeles, it was only going to be like a 14-hour drive. When I lived in New York, people would go into Canada from that way. And I would just, people would always make these little cross-country trips for the summer. I wanted to do a cross-country trip. So my car, which was always parked somewhere, I was driving a really, cute mid BMW. That bitch drove. When I put her in gear, she sat. She was a race car. She was ready to go. And I had never really driven her. I had only had like 80,000 miles on her. The 2 owners before me, let's fucking go. I have a huge dog that I was unwilling to put on a plane in a crate under somewhere with luggage. If my dog had to come back to me jacked up, oh, no. I was going to have to burn somebody down. No. So I packed up my car, whatever could fit in the car. And she rode shotgun in the passenger seat. That's on my Instagram page. So we packed up the car, Memorial Day. I moved out of my apartment and I proceeded to drive 3 days, 2 nights to Georgia. I arrived at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. So previous to this, there are cracks, right? There are cracks, but, when I would make requests or not even requests, he would offer for something, there was always a slight somewhere. I'm paying attention. I read between the lines. We're talking about living a life together as husband and wife. I've always asked people when when their marriages broke up or in the rough times, what was going on when you were dating that that maybe did you not see this or whatever? We're dating each other. You're my boyfriend. I've not signed any paperwork. I might be calling you my husband. I might be, these are pet names. I'm trying it out. I'm a wild one. I don't like being fenced in. But I want to domesticate myself. I'm trying this shit out. You're the first person, second person I've ever thought about living with. The first person was named Derek as well, from Georgia. His job had transferred. We were in Los Angeles. His job had transferred him to Minneapolis. And we were trying to figure out if I needed to pack up and go and follow. And the weekend that I was supposed to hop on a plane and we were supposed to look at apartments, he acted in a very shitty way, and I didn't go. And we broke up. So that was the only other person that I had ever thought about living with previous to this situation. I was proud of myself, too. I was super, super, super proud of myself. Drove 3 days, 2 nights. I arrived at 11 o'clock at night to the apartment this man had rented for us. He had taken the time to rent us an apartment. I had given him what I would like in an apartment, and he had found something. So I thought. There was a gate. I got up to the apartment complex in Duluth, Georgia. I didn't know what a Duluth, Georgia was. In our previous my previous visits, we had looked at houses together. Okay? We had looked at houses together, and he knew I didn't want to live far from the downtown, midtown area. I am a sexy woman. I want a sexy lifestyle. I'm moving to Georgia for a lifestyle change, but I'm still sexy. We're supposed to be living a fun middle-aged lifestyle. Don't take me too far away from that. I work in the media industry, food, hospitality. That's in a certain area of town. I don't wish to have a long commute. Do not try to take me to fuck ass somewhere that I don't want to be. He moved us to Duluth. He made me think that that was like the only safe place to be, the only place where there were quality apartments. We were supposed to be in this apartment for 1 year while this woman, this ex-wife, was supposed to have moved out in July of 2025. And we were the house was supposed to be sold, give her some money, we keep it moving. I pull up to the gate, and he's expecting me to put in like some code to get into the apartment. It's 11:30 at night. Can you please come get me? I'm your queen. I'm your honey bun. I'm this. I'm that. Can you please come get me? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. It is dark. I don't want to figure out how to scroll for your name. You understand what I'm saying? What the fuck is going on? You need to leave that fucking house and come get me. So he did. We get into the apartment. We had talked about getting a 1-bedroom. It was only us. It was a 2-bedroom apartment. So off the bat, you're doing too much and you're going off script. This is not what we had talked about. This is not what we had planned for. He had a 4-digit code, and there was a key card to get into the apartment complex. He had both and was expecting me to have to call him so that it would ping his phone and he could let me into the apartment complex, y'all. Then he proceeded, when he saw that I was perplexed by that. Why couldn't I have my own card? You can put your name on the lease, but you need to make 3 times the rent. Inward, you knew I'm not working right now. You didn't put, and he didn't put my name on the lease. I didn't think anything of it because I was not working. But now in hindsight, moving forward, my name needs to be on the lease. My name needs to be on paperwork somewhere. And I need to be paying a bill. Ladies, fellas, ladies, your name needs to be on a bill somewhere. So if a man cuts up at some point and you need to go to court or you need to defend yourself, you need to prove that you live there. You need to prove that that was your residence. Because if you don't, he can get the police to come and kick you out. Or he can do whatever the fuck he wants because your name is not on the lease. When he saw that I was not going for this, and I think I might have said something to him, he gave me the key card. How fucking dare you? What is going on here? You claim to have gotten this apartment for the 2 of us, yet you're already trying to, do some fuck shit. This is some fuck shit right now. He gave me the key card. Moving forward, anytime I seem to be having a good time, the key card let me get through the gate. There were two different gates, a front gate, a back gate. It also let me into the gym as well as the pool area. He worked 9 to 5. I was not working for the first 3 months. And I was going to the gym every day, coming and going as I pleased. And at various points, 2 different times, that key card stopped working. I don't know how the key cards work. I've never really lived behind a gate. I've lived behind a locked door, but you have a key. I've never lived behind a gate where I had to drive through, so I don't know how those key cards work. Tell me in the comments section down below, those white key cards that you swipe, do they ever stop working on their own? Because he tried to make me seem like, that's just they just stopped working. I don't think that that's true. I think he was turning the key card off because I was having a good time without him. At various points, showing my independence, me speaking up for myself, pissed this man off, and he became a hater. He became a hater. And I think that he was turning the key card on and off. I could be wrong. I don't know how they work. Tell me in the comments below. He gave me the key card. I was coming and going as I wanted. My car was not passing admissions. I was not passing the smog check in LA. I was able to go to the DMV. I took care of all my tickets and various violations. And I was able to get a one-way pass and I moved. When I got here, my car sat in a parking space all summer in the hot sun, in the pounding, pouring rain, and I drove his extra car. He had a work truck his work truck that he drove in every day. He had a black Corvette. Also, mind you, we're living in a 2-bedroom apartment, even though we spoke about only getting a 1-bedroom. He had a garage for his Corvette. His extra car and my car sat out in just regular parking spaces. As I'm looking at my life and what it would look like forward, it's odd. Why does your Corvette need its own garage while my car is sitting outside with the paint chipping off? But I had a car to drive. I wasn't driving my car. He claimed he was going to fix it. I had his car to drive, his extra car, and I was fine with it. I'm a simple woman. As complex as I am, I'm simple as well. I'm flexible. I have a way about me. I want to live a certain lifestyle. It's flexible. It's changeable. Because that's life. I'm making new choices. I'm opening up. But it's odd that you have a garage for your sports car and my car is out there. So the car was sitting, he was going to take it to a day, and I didn't want him to take my BMW to a day. And you know what I mean by day. Just somebody random. I mean, I get, it's a foreign car, and I want, listen, I wasn't asking for anything that I wasn't doing for myself. I had a professional who was working on if I needed something. My family is a BMW family. My brother had a mechanic in Pasadena. And that's who I was going to if I had issues. And even when I moved away, I still would go to reputable people to have my cars fixed. I didn't want to go to a day anymore. I didn't want to live a certain type of ragtag lifestyle. I wanted to live like a middle-aged woman should live. He got pissed off at me. Well, he works on my car and you're driving in that every day. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck what you do. This is me. He got pissed off. Never fixed my car. It was just sitting there. When I arrived in town, he asked me what I wanted to drink to celebrate. I asked for Veuve Clicquot. I might be saying that wrong. I don't give a shit. I don't even care if it's a good sparkling wine. It's what I like to drink. I love the label. I love Veuve. My friends love Veuve. It's what we drink. Kirby Dominant made a whole album, Champagne Nightmares. Go stream that. This man tried to tell me it was too expensive. It didn't taste good. Little strikes and little ick moments with this man just kept coming. We're dating. I like me and my plans and how I live my life. And if you can't get on my program, I'm going to replace the man. I'm not going to replace me and my habits. They're flexible, but there's a way that I want to live. And you claimed that you could handle it, and now you're not. And you're not going to shit on me and my choices simply because you can't rise to the occasion. And at various points, it seemed like this man was not going to rise to the occasion. He was very old and dusty in his thinking and how he did things. He moved very slowly. And I had questions. I was trying to modernize this person, right? Our cleaning products were like old school Clorox and bleachy. I'm trying to bring in some Mrs. Myers. These are the things that I'm buying for myself, 7th generation, right? We're bringing cancer into the house. I'm trying to explain this to him. This man had me eating manwich from a fucking can. I don't eat that. I'm from California. I eat California cuisine. I like fresh fruits and vegetables. Sure, I eat junk food. I got a problem with sugar. But I balance it with some fucking quinoa after, and some kale and smoothies and you've seen the videos. I cook. I also know how to keep a clean fucking house. So, at various points, this person, in trying to get control, was trying to shit on how I did things. He was trying to tell me that the products that I was bringing in were not keeping the house clean. He had my dog sleeping in the front room and not with us. I mean, she didn't even need to be on the bed, but he didn't even want her in the room, claiming her hair was getting all over the place. So my dog was sleeping in another room. I told you I met him. He was just like on a bed. He was in a room on a bed. There wasn't even any type of lounge area in the room. He was just on the bed all the time. When I moved in, he would come home from work and go straight and lay on the bed. And I had to go and get him and bring him. I moved in. I was looking for work, trying to settle in, getting to know the lay of the land. He was going to work he had a 9 to 5, but he wasn't telling me when he was coming home. I'm cooking meals from scratch, Trying to be the lady of the house. I'm a damn good lady of the house, too. That's also why I moved in with him. I've never lived with anybody. I've never had to take care of anybody beyond myself. And I just wanted to know if I could do it. I wanted to know if I would like it. How is this going to work? I'm wild. I'm fun. I do what I want. And no one holds me to anything. I start and stop things. I wanted to have a different type of structure in my life. This man would show up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night and and be expecting to eat. Me and Jessica are sitting there waiting, no phone call. It's odd. It's odd. And then you're in your work clothes, laid up. Listen, there's noise all throughout this. It is what it is. I will share more as I drop more episodes. I'm going to explain everything. This is just how I where I'm at right now in my life is because of this situation, and I need to get it out because I'm very angry. I am going through a very hard time right now, and this is the reason why. I would never have made these decisions. I would never have allowed this human being into my life. I would never have brought myself to where I'm at had this man have not come into my life and been a liar. This man would come home whenever and lay up on the bed while I'm in the kitchen cooking. He had gotten us, so we're in a 2-bedroom apartment. He had gotten us a bed set, but nothing else was in the apartment. Huge 2-bedroom apartment. The whole one side was not. The living room there was nothing in the living room. It was just a bed. It was a bed and a dresser and two side tables. And he had made me feel like, babe, what do you want? So he got what I want. It was a cute little situation. We didn't have lamps. I'm 51. He's 58. I was 50 at the time. He was 57. He turned 58 over the summer. We didn't have lamps in our bedroom. We were using the light from the bathroom. I told you, I decorate my places. I live, my apartments are decorated, super cute. Why are we living like this? I brought my TV. He didn't have a TV. I brought my TV from Los Angeles. It was set up on 2 folding chairs, and we would move those folding chairs into the kitchen area so that we could watch TV. But we didn't have any furniture anywhere else in this apartment. This went on for the 3 months that I was there. Can you read the writing on the wall? Why are we living like this? What is going on? Well, things cost money. Well, sure. But you can get a futon off of Amazon. We can even go to Walmart. We're at Walmart all the fucking time. Bean bags, something. Why do we only have a bedroom set, a half put together bedroom set, and we don't even have lamps? I went to put the electricity in my name, or so I thought. So I'm looking for work. I'm starting to. So we're going on trips, and that's the other thing. We're going on trips. He's planning these trips. When I leave town, my dog has to go into boarding. Boarding is $75 a night. If you want extras, it goes up. When I leave for a vacation, I come back to a bill every fucking time. My dog is vaccinated. She's fully vaccinated because when you board these animals, they have to be vaccinated. They have to have papers, right? So everything's on the up and up, but I come home to a bill, like a $300 bill every single time I come back from vacation. He knew this. He knew that this was going to be the thing. He started complaining about it. He had all these different vacations planned for the summer. Well, I'm trying to bring you down to earth. And then also, I don't want my dog in boarding for a certain amount of time. It's going to jack her up. She's going to be sad. And she just doesn't need to be boarded for a certain amount of time. So in July, we left for Essence Festival at the beginning of July. And then he wanted to turn around and go to Nevada to check on his property. There was a tenant moving out. We were going to flip the apartment so that the next tenant, it could be available to rent. It's income property. During this time, we're just arguing. The arguments over stupid shit are starting. And I'm just seeing a pattern that I did not like. And him getting very pissed off because I started asking questions. And I started saying no. And I started putting boundaries up. I started requiring him to be a part of the relationship. It seemed to me, so I would make dinner from scratch. He would come into the kitchen and just eat and not say anything to me. I thought that was odd. You've been gone all day. You don't have anything to say. You don't have anything to share. Don't you want to know what I've been doing? So I started trying to change that. He would come into the house and go straight into the bed while I'm cooking. I requested that he would start coming and stop doing that. And could you put on your indoor clothes? Why are you on the bed? Because I'm the one doing the laundry. Why are you in the bed with your outside clothes on? Can you get comfortable and then come talk to me? It's your new lady. I just moved. We're in a new situation. Come talk to me. It's summertime. Let's eat outside on the patio. We had 2 folding chairs. 4. The 2 folding chairs for my TV, which we would move from the bedroom to the front room. And then there were 2 little folding chairs that we would keep out on the patio. And if you know, I put the patio together. It's super cute because we were supposed to be living a life. And he was just complaining at various points. So I'm starting to look for work, and he's trying to get me to only go after certain jobs. And, I'm looking around at the things that he's, and then he wanted me to start like having to help pay for things. Well, what am I paying for? Right? I'm looking for work. What am I paying for? I don't need my car doesn't have a garage. Why would I help pay for a garage? I'm not using that room. What's that room for? Well, you can use it for your office. So at various points, the extra room, the conversation completely would change. And so in his, the next issue and lie is, before I even moved into the apartment, he had people over. A friend of his, a male friend, and then I guess his daughter maybe had stopped in. He never told me that. And he let it slip that he told his daughter that was her room. Meanwhile, in conversations with me, you're talking like that's going to be my extra office or a guest room. So now I'm looking for work and you're expecting me to pay for a room that I'm not using? He's expecting me to give up all my time. He was very needy, just very needy, and then just mean whenever I would speak up for myself. His mother had given us money to get just a little treat to treat ourselves. So we went and got ourselves a little cute dining room set. Still no living room furniture. So we have a bedroom set and a dining room set. I'm used to putting furniture together. He's used to paying somebody to do something. He got pissed off at me because I wanted to put together the dining room set. I'm used to Amazon furniture. This was rooms to go. It was a little more involved, and I wasn't moving as quickly as he wanted me to move. He was also pissed off that the people offered to put the dining room set together. Again, this was a Sunday afternoon. I wanted to go home and relax and, do a little craft project, put together a fucking dining room table. This man, who I think has a drinking problem, I love to party. That was the other thing. He liked to party and socialize. I'm not a huge drinker. I do smoke marijuana. I'm not a huge drinker. He drank all the time. Not to excess, but whenever, the working day was done, there was a drink in his hand. This man proceeded to pour himself a shot of liquor and stand over me and talk shit about how I'm not going to be able to do it, and I should have allowed these people to put this table together. And I mean, he left to go to Home Depot to get, parts that weren't needed. And I'm like, child, just sit the fuck down. Don't worry about it. Why are you so pissed off about this? I got the table together, and it looked amazing. He did not help me at all. So to move this forward, the summertime was just, this is how this went. Arguments left and right at the grocery store. Suddenly, I don't know how to go grocery store shopping. I'm putting things into the cart. He's taking things out. He's not offering up any menus to plan for the week. I'm the one planning everything. He's having where I'm not able to go places by myself. He wants to do it together. He's not respecting my time. He's expecting me to just hop up and go whenever he wanted to hop up and go. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And so just through a series of events, I just started, it just started to, just be obvious that this was not a person that I was going to move forward with in a marriage. But we could still date, right? And then at various points, I didn't want to live with them anymore, right? And then we got to the point where I didn't want him touching me anymore. And I was sleeping on the edge of the bed. I was not having sex with him, or very sparingly. I was not loving him up the way he thought that he should be loved up. I didn't like his thin body. He's very thin. I didn't like it. I don't like skeleton men. I don't. I like men with a little bit of cushion for the pushing. The intimacy wasn't the best. He did not kiss me the way I liked. And I'm asking for these things. Why, what's going on here? Why aren't you kissing me with your fucking tongue? Can I get a French kiss? But he's 58. He's old. Old black man. I asked him to move his hips a little. I don't need to. In the arguments, he was never wrong. He never apologized to me. When he would notice that I wasn't speaking to him, or if I was quiet or ignoring him, I would get a little rub on my hand or something. But because he knew I was pissed off, but he never apologized to me. He never said, you know what, Maisa, you were right. My fault, my bad. I did this because there was never, it was always just, no. Whenever I would ask, do you think that you're in the wrong? No. He never thought that he was in the wrong. He never felt the need to apologize. And so with this, I started to, how can I remove myself from this situation in an amicable way? Every day I'm waking up to the news of some man unaliving a woman who was simply a girlfriend, all because they were pissed off about something and or mentally ill. At one point I asked him, was he supposed to be on medication? At one point I asked him to start taking the medication if he was. Because his movements and how he was dealing with me and how he was taking in information and just his stupidity was just odd to me. I offered to teach him how to hit the bong. I offered to teach him how to smoke a joint. I offered to get him gummies. I started introducing the conversation. Hey, maybe I should go get my own apartment. But trying to be mindful, trying to be respectful. I'm in this apartment. I'm not paying rent. And this man, I at this point, I don't really know what's going on here. I didn't want to be hurt. And so I stopped sharing my movements with him. He was putting money in my pockets, paying for personal care items, putting gas in the car. I wasn't working. I didn't have money in my pockets. I had this car. I had a 401k. I was like, maybe, and I was looking for work. I was trying. I couldn't. I had my resume rewritten. I just wasn't finding work. And then what kind of work can I have so that we can have this lifestyle that you claim you want to live? And then also it's July. What's going on with the house? What's going on? I started noticing that he was talking about buying property. The things like that we had said that our plans were changing, and I didn't like it. And I wasn't going to continue. It seemed like his plan was to, so he was paying bills and all of a sudden he stopped. In July came, 4th of July came and went, and I asked what was going on with the house. I already knew the answers, though. Sometimes when I ask questions, it's because I already know the answer. I had been grilling this man throughout this whole time. I'm paying attention. I'm reading between the lines. Something is off here. He's making comments. I know she needs the money. How do you know she needs the money? Then he's telling me that I'm costing him money. Well, how is that possible? We live together. I know how much money I run through in a month, and it's not. I don't spend a whole lot of money. Where's the money going? What's going on here? It came out that he's living on credit, and he stopped paying my bills because he was a hater. He wanted to control me. It seemed that he had no plans on changing. He just changed the woman out. He had no plans on changing himself. He just wanted to change the woman out. And I'm too dope of a human being to allow that to happen. He does not have the wherewithal, the smarts, the sexiness to do this to me. It seemed that he had me move here to run my pockets while also expecting me to help him pay for bills that I was not making. Charges were being put on the American Express card, and it's attached to my credit now. I can see what's going on here. What's going on with the money? He used to sit at the table and pull out I could always tell when he was balancing the books, and it was happening more and more. His behavior was starting to become erratic. I felt that he was possibly cheating. I've never been in a relationship where a man cheated on me, to my knowledge. Dating, I don't know what these fools are doing, but my boyfriends, I've never dealt with that. And I'm so grateful that I've never had to deal with that. I think I was dealing with it in this situation. There was starting to be an odor in my bathroom that wasn't our fragrance. You understand what I'm saying? He was starting to like leave the apartment without speaking. And whenever I would leave the apartment, he would expect me to come over and give him a kiss. Whenever we were out in public, I had to hold his hand. To that point, when he would get pissed off at me, he would cover his hands. He would hold his arms crossed. And then when he would have to pay for something, then he would grab my hand. Odd behavior. Stopped paying my bills. I needed to pivot. I didn't know what was going on. I told you I don't go through phones. I was asking questions and I didn't like the answers that I was getting. And where's the money going? You claim to be a millionaire. You claim to show me the receipts. What's going on here? Over this, I'm into metaphysical things. I love astrology. I told you I'm a Libra sun, Taurus rising, Aquarius moon, Virgo Venus. I'm very tapped into myself. I love medical, physical talk. I love tarot cards. I just do. It is helps me to deal with myself. All these things are the potential nature of a person, place, or a thing. And I think that they can be helpful in dealing with life or just entertainment purposes. I don't live my life by the book of this, but I find these things very helpful to myself. The Lion's Gate was open this past summer. I don't know if you know what this is. Look it up. Lion's Gate was open this past summer in August. It was a time of renewal, setting intentions. How do you want to move forward in your life? I no longer wanted to live with this man. I've never lived with a human being before. I did not know how to separate myself. I started introducing conversations. Hey, we can still date, but I don't think this is a forever situation, and/or I think it's time for me to become more independent and I should get my own apartment. He started getting pissed off at that. He started trying mind control. You're not going anywhere. This is forever. He would grab my arm and say, I need to keep an eye on you. He had 2 phones. Throughout our whole entire relationship, he had 2 phones. One would ping all the time. It was connected to a Ring camera to his house in Norcross. When I arrived into the apartment, there was a camera sitting on the counter. A little surveillance camera. I am a very intuitive, with it, present human being. Something told me to keep my eye on that camera. I don't know why. I ended up hiding the camera in the hardware drawer. We all have a hardware drawer. And I separated the cord from the camera. I told you I stopped sharing myself with this person. His movements were erratic. I was home by myself a lot during the day. I'm putting 2 and 3 and I'm putting this all together. And we got to a point where something happened in an intimate moment. And I was like, you're disgusting. And then I was watching TV one night and he started watching something on his cellular phone. He didn't turn the volume down. He didn't put earbuds in. And I just thought it was very juvenile. At various points, this man was very juvenile. He was a 58-year-old man and 8 years old at the same exact time. He was very petty. And so it just pissed me off. It was just the final straw. It was the final straw. So one night in August, I abruptly got up out of bed, and I told him, I'm moving into the second bedroom. I need a moment. This is not working for me. I don't know what to do. And I just I can't be here right now. And I need you to let me do this. I packed my bags and I moved into the room next door. A previous episode, I told you we had 2 rooms. I was in Studio A, Studio B, recording my podcasts. He started resenting that. You need to start bringing in some real money. And so I moved into the second bedroom. I moved into the second fucking bedroom. I took all of my belongings, most of my belongings out of that room. I took my television and the 2 TVs. And I moved into the second fucking bedroom. At this point, I had gotten him to get some lamps. He begrudgingly bought some lamps. So he was left in one room and I was in the other. And I slowly began to remove my essence from him and that apartment. I don't know why I felt that I could do this. I'm just sharing my situation and how I got down. I don't know why this went on for like 2 or 3 weeks. I slowly started removing myself from this relationship. And it became very apparent to me that this man was lying. He had no intentions of being a decent human being to me. He was starting to be mean to me. And I needed to go back to being the independent woman and fun woman that I was. I was trying to introduce him into my lifestyle, and he just didn't fit. He just did not fit. He was starting to complain that I was trying to change him. Well, yeah, because I don't like you. I just don't like you. I moved into the second bedroom, and I started trying to figure out how I could get some money in my hands. I needed to move. I'm in a new place. I don't know anything. And so I sold my car. I like to think like older white men when it comes to investments. How do older white men invest or save their money? They live they liquidate assets. And for the past few years, I don't spend my money on just anything. I think about what I'm buying. Does this have a resale value? Right? I don't buy junk. I'm not going to say that. A certain type of investor, they live on credit. They don't spend their money and they liquidate assets. I had a car that was sitting out in the parking lot. She wasn't passing emissions. This man was not trying to fix her. I sold her. And I got a couple of $1,000s for her. And I was cool with it. And even though I had moved out of the bedroom, I was still trying to make peace. I'm living in this house, in this apartment with this man, and I'm not paying rent, so I'm trying to be respectful while also removing myself. And so, I was still kind of cooking, but I just wasn't, So in this, he started being shitty. And so I stopped cooking and I stopped coming to the table and I stopped completely sharing myself. I will admit it. I completely removed myself from this situation because where's the money going? what are you doing? And I started speaking up for myself. Even though I was very scared, towards the end of me living in that bedroom, I started sleeping with pointy objects in my nightstand because I did not, it seemed like he was trying to get me to, he wanted to be the cause and the cure. He wanted to try and lure me into conflicts in an effort to get me in trouble some kind of way, and then come to my aid. So in him not paying my bills anymore, he thought that I was going to beg him, and I didn't do it. I started becoming more independent, and I don't think he expected that to happen. He expected me to come crying to him, "Why are you doing this?" And I didn't. I became independent, and I started asking, where's the fucking money? I wasn't able to get my own apartment. I tried, and then, in looking for apartments, I looked online at our apartment complex, and there was a unit that I could have afforded had I been working. And silly me, I applied for the apartment before, because I had money in the bank, but I applied for the apartment before I got a job. So I started losing money. I started driving for Lyft. That didn't really work. I did that for like a week, and I was like, nah, this isn't going to work. And so, yeah, I was not ready to go, but I had set a time, September 6th. This man, so, yeah, just to move this along, he started getting pissed off. And I stopped sharing my information with him. I would lock myself and my dog in the second room. I started having conversations with Jessica. She loved him. Jessica loves everybody, though. I started letting her know that he was an asshole, that he was the one keeping her from me, and that she needed to stop being so nice to him. So I started separating her energy from him. And one day, the camera went missing. The camera went missing. We're going to speed this up because this is already almost 2 hours, and I might split this up into 2 episodes. The camera went missing. Where's the fucking camera? I didn't know, but I knew. We're coming to the end of this thing. It's the end of August. I need to get out of this man's apartment. I'm not finding anything. And the camera is missing. We were supposed to go away on Labor Day weekend to Los Angeles, to Erica and Yan Cersei of Northridge's wedding anniversary. Marlon Maynor, Derek Dorsey. None of these people should feel comfortable doing this to another woman again. Where is the camera? He wanted me to go on this trip, and I told him no. I said, I'm looking for work. If I find work, I can't just take off I can't take off. I'm a brand new employee. Also, we're not getting along, and I'm not going anywhere with you. So I started putting my foot down, not being nice anymore. Where is the camera? I did score an interview. I had stopped using his car as well. The key card was being turned on and off. We had gates, but the gates never really worked. So he kept trying to tell me all this and that, and I started debunking all the lies and that he was telling me. He told me, I was not going to be able to find anything decent. Well, there was apartment in the apartment complex that he found for us. Had I been working, I probably wouldn't have been able to get an apartment there. Plus, there were things wrong with that apartment, right? The gates were never working. Cars were being broken into. There were a shit ton of air conditioning units by our beautiful patio. I asked for a patio. I got a patio, but then he chose a unit that had a bunch of air conditioning units next to it. So even when I was outside, it was always loud. I could never enjoy the space. Even inside of our apartment, we couldn't enjoy the space because it was loud. In the pictures that he showed me of the apartment, he never showed me those air conditioning units until after he signed the lease. And then I asked what was going on there. So that goes back to like the slights, me asking for something and him almost getting it for me. From burgers to sauce to takeout to furniture to apartments, there was always something, a slight or something missing. When I give something to somebody, when I do something for someone, it's done completely. And it's done to your specifications because I'm being a service to you. This person was a hater. And anytime I showed enjoyment outside of him, he did not like that. I found out that I was living 64 stops away from a train station. In a car going into town, we were living in the suburbs, going into town, it would take us a solid half hour. I was living 64 fucking stops from a train station. Do you know how far that is? When you're on public transportation, mind you, I had sold my car. I wasn't driving his car. I'm trying to teach myself the lay of the land. I had an interview. I went, and I'm like, what the fuck? This, left, right, and center, I was being screwed. Where is the camera? He was supposed to have left. He had started closing his bedroom door. I wanted to make sure that he was gone. The best part of my day is when he would leave to go to work. That's when you know shit's done. So that I could have peace and quiet to myself to think and to get work done. The best part of my day is when he would leave. He was supposed to have left to go to the wedding anniversary. And so I opened up his bedroom door to see if he was packed or if he had left, and I saw the camera. He had set up the camera on his nightstand like a lunatic. He had tried to cover it up with a fake plant, but there is a red light on. When I moved out of the room, his room state was always dark. This is how another thing. I'm loving light. When the two rooms were across the way, his side was always pitch black dark. My side was full of light. The red light was on. It was in his bedroom, but so what? He was trying to catch me in something, and it was recording sound. So you're trying to you're illegally filming and recording me in my home. That's it's a crime. I disconnected the camera. I closed up the room, but I was pissed by now. I was pissed. I went back into the room. I grabbed the camera. I took Jessica out for a walk. I threw the camera in the waste bag, and then I threw it away. I knew this was going to be a problem. I didn't know how big, but I knew it was going to be a problem. We got back into the apartment. I set up a trap. I put a broom up against the front door so that I could hear it when he opened the door. And we were in the room, minding our business. I was having lunch. The broom fell. By this time, he had been complaining about everything. The way I cleaned, I was spending too much money. I was spending too much time. So I smoke marijuana. I smoke marijuana in my home because I moved in with him and he didn't smoke. And mind you, his father smoked weed. Okay? So he's not unfamiliar. His dad was a cool dude. And I think he was trying to be a cool dude. He's not a cool dude. Out of respect, I had started going outside to the patio to smoke. He had started complaining that I was spending too much time outside. So trying to control. And I think he thought that I was going to change my behaviors, but I didn't. I changed the man. Much like how he tried to do it, I changed the man. I switched the man out. I got rid of the man and kept my self-worth and my integrity and my smarts and my beauty and my positive vibes. And I got rid of him. And he did not expect it to go that way. He came into the house, broom fell. Where's the camera, Maisa? This man had been calling me his queen, his woman, his wife, his honey bun. Towards the end, when I moved out, he had started trying to do like the Goldie or the, I don't know if you guys know American Gigolo or Hustler or something. Me and my friends used to watch years ago about pimps and hoes, right? And these pimps would like try and mind control these women. This fool was like sending me Instagram texts about how relationships, you need to fight for your relationship and all this and that. I told him to get that shit out my face. Stop talking to me like this. So he was pretty pissed off at me. He would send me, I told you I wasn't talking to him. I was living in the second room. He would send me text messages like, I don't, just whatever. It doesn't matter. He was an asshole. And he was pissed that I was becoming independent of him. The broom fell. He comes charging at me over a camera. You care more about this camera than you care about me right now. It's a real problem. He also didn't look like himself. He also looked like he had been drinking or just in distress. He seemed like he wanted to corner me in the bedroom. I told him to move away. We moved into the living room and he just started berating me over this camera. I let him know that it was a federal offense and he had no business doing that. He said that I was tearing up his house. When I asked him what that meant, it was because I had started taking down photos of us. That's what he meant by I was tearing up his apartment. You see how in the beginning of summer, it was our place, but then he kind of let it slip. I wasn't on the lease. By the end of summer, it was his apartment that I was living in. I was eating a chicken pot pie, looking at him, and I said, is today the day? I said, are we doing this today? I was very calm. I was very cool. I was very collected. I was not ready to go, but all my things were packed. When I moved out of the bedroom, I packed up all my stuff and I was living out of my suitcases. So I was prepared mentally, emotionally, but financially, I was not. I was not financially ready to leave. But I knew that I needed to get out of this man's apartment. I knew that this had run its course, or so I felt. He was coming at me. He was pacing in and out of the apartment, cursing at me, talking about how he wasn't doing this with me. Where's the camera? And then it seemed like he was going to try and kick me out, or I don't really know. I don't do domestic violence. I just knew I needed to go. So he left the apartment and I just went in go mode. I started bringing all my stuff to the front door. I couldn't take everything with me. I put the stuff that I left behind in a pile in the closet. And I called myself a black car, a big black truck. I did not know where I was going. I was rushed. I had a couple of $1,000s in my pocket. And I knew I needed to get out of this man's house. There was no way that I was going to allow him to put me in a worse situation, or so I thought, than where I was. I called a black car. A beautiful human being, man, showed up in a big black SUV. He saw my franticness. I mean, at this point, I'm throwing huge pieces of luggage at him, heavy pieces of luggage at him. I'm stuttering. I'm moving very quickly. He got out that truck. He rolled up he took off his jacket. He rolled up his fucking sleeves and he put my shit in that car. And he understood the assignment and he drove us the fuck up out of there. And I left. That's how I ended my relationship with Derek Dorsey of the Chicago Dorseys, Norcross Dorseys, Lawrenceville Dorseys, Summerlin Dorseys. I fucking left. Where did I go? Next episode. Let's take a break.